Yo guys, what is up? Max in our Borderlands video, and today we're talking about all things Borderlands and Gearbox related. Now, if you haven't been on the internet the past few weeks, you may not have seen all of the news that's been going around in the Borderlands universe with new events, new podcasts, some teases from Randy about the future of the Borderlands franchise, and also this morning some breaking news about Gearbox. This video is going to serve as kind of a catch-up video because there's a lot of things that have gone on and I haven't covered any of it, so we'll be talking about all the things going on in the Borderlands universe. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. So news broke this morning via IGN, Forbes, Gaming Insiders, Tom Henderson, that Embracer Group is considering selling Gearbox. Now, Embracer Group bought Gearbox 2 years ago for $1.4 billion, and I'm sure they're still waiting for the return on investment, which is probably going to come from the next mainline Borderlands game, which obviously hasn't happened yet. However, Embracer Group is currently hurting for money. They've been going on a spending spree on buying all of these studios, spending wild amounts of money, and they apparently had a deal with a Saudi company lined up for $2 billion. Now, this $2 billion deal fell through. We don't know why, but when that deal fell through, which Embracer was going to be relying on, and news broke that that deal fell through, their stocks also dropped 40%. Now they've got a huge, massive money hole to fill, and apparently selling Gearbox might be the best way to plug that hole. Now, from an outside perspective looking in, this looks like a really weird time to sell Gearbox, just because when they bought Gearbox 2 years ago, I'm sure Borderlands 4 was further away than it is now, present day, and Borderlands 4 is going to be Gearbox's big next moneymaker. Not only that, but they have a new Echo Vision, like live podcast television thing that's coming out. They've got the Borderlands movie, which already has a set date for next year, and so things look like they're going to be really good for Gearbox in the near future. So I don't think Embracer, like, considering selling them looks negatively on Gearbox. Like, I was thinking about, like maybe Borderlands 4 isn't like shaping up to what they thought it was going to shape up to be, and maybe that's why they want to sell it. But it does seem like Embracer would be considering selling Gearbox just as a fast-term solution to plug this massive money hole that they need to fill. Otherwise, they could be facing like serious company issues. And so the next big question is, who has $1.4 billion to buy Gearbox? Now, I think the safest bet is Take-Two Interactive, which is 2K's parent company. Take-Two Interactive, in their most recent financial results announcement, said that they're expecting to make $8 billion in net bookings in fiscal year 2025. This is going to most likely correlate to the release of GTA 6, but Take-Two Interactive owns 2K. 2K owns the publishing rights to the Borderlands franchise, so whoever owns Gearbox, 2K is still going to be the publisher for Borderlands games, and so it would make the most sense for 2K to buy Gearbox, and then they would have the publishing money and also the money from the actual game and own the devs. And so that seems like the most realistic thing. However, the two other big parties that could get involved here is obviously Xbox with Microsoft and Sony with PlayStation. Now, I could see Xbox making a big play here and picking up Gearbox. In terms of the acquisitions that they've been trying to make, $1.4 billion for Borderlands is honestly on the cheaper side, as well as it's got a lot of things coming down the pipelines with all the different Borderlands related things. And Microsoft doesn't have like a premier looter shooter. The looter shooter genre is really, really popular, and Sony already owns Destiny 2. So Sony's got its big live service looter shooter that they're obviously promoting and marketing, and Borderlands is kind of a competitor to that. So I could see Microsoft going for Borderlands, and that could be pretty crazy. So obviously, all of this is speculation. We don't know if Embracer will actually sell Gearbox. We don't know how far away the next big Borderlands is. If the next big Borderlands is 2 years away, maybe they would sell, and they're gonna need to get that money plugged. Maybe Borderlands 4 is almost ready, and they're gonna decide to hold on and wait for the next Borderlands 4 to launch and try to recuperate their money. But it is something that is being talked about. It is on the table, so I wanted to report about it. Speaking of Borderlands 4, we might actually have gotten some insight into how Borderlands 4 will start. Now, this is from Randy Pitchford himself. and he was explaining to people, because he was getting some comments on Twitter, what happened at the end of Borderlands 3. And he writes, in Borderlands, Lilith became a siren with the power to phase walk. In Borderlands 2, she juiced up on Iridium to have enough power to phase walk all of Sanctuary to save her friends. In Borderlands 3, she phase walked Elpis, a moon made of Iridium, to save everyone on Pandora and Elpis. Now, he follows this up by saying, find Elpis and you find Lilith. This one confirms, once again, which I've been saying, is that one, Lilith is still alive. She's still very alive. And two, Elpis has been phase walked the same way that Sanctuary got phased in Borderlands 2. We are going to, I'm assuming, in Borderlands 4, need to go find Elpis. We're gonna go on this mission to try to find Lilith, find where this planet is. And if I had to guess, this is gonna be the kickoff point for Borderlands 4, is trying to find Lilith. Besides Randy's tweets, there's a lot going on in the Borderlands space. They just released the Borderlands Collection Pandora's Box, which is a massive bundle of all of the Borderlands games. It's got Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands the pre-sequel, new tales, old tales, and it even was backed up by a patch that was released for Borderlands 3 that included new skins for the game that are all free, that tie in a bunch of the old villains from other games and bring them into Borderlands 3, which is really cool to see. They're doing live events in Borderlands 3 in addition to like shift keys, diamond keys, gold keys. They've got a month of mayhem with a Loot the Universe event going on, which is actually an updated Loot the Universe. It is not the exact same as it was in prior years, so they're putting effort into that. They're doing a $10,000 gold-plated PS5 giveaway. They just launched a new Borderlands podcast that's actually really, really interesting. If you haven't checked it out, they've got a bunch of like the OG devs that worked on like Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 talking about the creation of those games. Really, really interesting stuff. But there's a lot happening right now with the Borderlands universe, and I think it's to try to get Borderlands back into the conversation, to bring people back to the game. And my reason that I think that they're doing all of this is I think we're going to be getting a Borderlands 4 announcement relatively soon. Now, you can call me crazy, but my reasoning for that is the Borderlands movie's date. The Borderlands movie was announced for August 2024. Now, August 2024 is significant because it is a month before September. September is the anniversary of Borderlands 3 and the anniversary of Borderlands 2. So if that's the only thing that's going on during the anniversary month, they would have put it in that anniversary month. They would have put it in September. This movie's been in development since 2015. The movie's got to be done by now, right? As my reasoning. I think they're strategically releasing it now that it's been so long, strategically releasing it the month before the Borderlands anniversary of Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3, and all of these Borderlands things are happening because it's the anniversary. They like doing big events and big things for the anniversary, so why not put the Borderlands movie during the anniversary month? Well, that's because I think there's going to be a new anniversary, and I think it's going to be Borderlands 4. I know I sound like a crazy person, but with all the things going on, all of the marketing, all of the things that are happening right now for Borderlands, it'd be crazy to not coincide the Borderlands movie with something else. We know that they've been working on like Borderlands 4 since I think like 2020, so that would put it in at least 4 years of development. So I don't think it's like too soon. We'll see. But my guess is we've got some big shows like the Game Awards at the very end of the year, and I'm guessing, this is just a guess, that we're gonna get a Borderlands 4 announcement at the Game Awards or sometime shortly after, to announce a Borderlands 4 that's going to be coming out in September that will get free marketing from the movie, and that's just my big hypothetical scenario. But I do think we're going to be seeing Borderlands 4 sooner rather than later, which is also crazy to me that the big thing that's counteracting this point is Embracer possibly selling Gearbox. It would be crazy for them to sell Gearbox with if Borderlands 4 is actually around the corner. It'd be crazy for them to sell because it's obviously big money right around the corner. So maybe it isn't as soon as I think it is, just because I would figure that Embracer would hold on to Gearbox until at least Borderlands 4 launches, and shortly after that, for the injection of cash it's going to bring. But if they're really, really hurting for money, maybe they wouldn't wouldn't be able to do that and would need to sell basically immediately. My next theory about Borderlands 4 is it's going to be a bit Avengers Endgame style, and what I mean by that is it's going to be a big face-off between new and old heroes and new and old villains. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because new Tales from the Borderlands is being included in this Pandora's Box collection. If the Pandora's Box collection has all of the events of the Borderlands games that they're trying to get new players to play so that they know the story of Borderlands before Borderlands 4 comes out, and New Tales is included in that collection, that it means the story of New Tales is canon. And in New Tales, there is a crystal that allows anyone to be revived. So any death in the Borderlands universe could be undone. We lost Scooter. Scooter could come back. We lost Handsome Jack. Handsome Jack could come back. And this opens up a massive possibilities for the story to bring back villains, to bring back Maya, that could be really crazy. Maybe everyone comes back. In the most recent update to Borderlands 3, they included the skins of a lot of the old bad guys that we've seen in the Borderlands games. We've got new skins for Captain Scarlet, General Knox, the Sentinel, and Commandant Steele, all now in Borderlands 3. So this could be a bit of a way to introduce these characters or these villains into the new player base who have only played Borderlands 3, and maybe this stone from the pre-sequel could see some of these villains and some of our heroes returning in Borderlands 4 for what was rumored or hinted at in the pre-sequel, which was that the big war was coming and that we're going to need everyone. And needing everyone could mean alive and dead characters. And so that's kind of my next tinfoil hat theory about Borderlands 4. Guys, that is going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Just a little catch up on all the crazy things that are happening in the Borderlands space right now. Let me know what you think about the Gearbox acquisition, and if you think I'm off my rocker about my Borderlands 4 predictions, or what you think is going to happen. It's all just fun speculation. This isn't anything that I take too seriously, but because I'm so excited for the next Borderlands game, my mind gets going sometimes, and I like to talk about these things. So you guys, that is going to be it for the video. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.